Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, Top 1 Financial Advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. You've heard me say this before. July is going to be a very busy month. Let's just call it busy, okay? And since the market was closed today, I went through and outlined 5 key days that you want to be aware of for this month. So we'll start off with July 8th. That's the unemployment numbers. Obviously, this is something that is regular reporting that most people do pay attention to. But because of the threat of the R word, people are paying a lot more attention, really, to everything on this list, but especially for unemployment. In any society, in any economy, we want to make sure that unemployment is low and stable. So obviously, we don't want to see this thing creep up, but we will find out where unemployment is on July 8th. I will be investing on July 8th because I believe that is a Friday. Let me double check that. It is, so regardless of what the numbers are, I'll be investing in either case because that's my dollar cost average day. Now the next day is even more important. I feel like these things just scale in importance to a degree, is inflation. July 13th is when we find out whether inflation has quote unquote peaked. And that is the word that I want to hear. It's the word we all need to hear on July 13th. What I mean by that is the Federal Reserve has been increasing interest rates. We've all seen it, we have all felt it to a degree, and they're trying to bring down inflation. So if inflation has peaked, it means it's hit the top and it's starting to come down. We need this to come down for a few reasons. Number one, we know that companies are suffering to a degree. We know that inflation has hurt supply chains to a degree. We know it's increased cost, it's increased transportation costs. Like it makes it harder for companies to make money when inflation is so high and they cannot raise prices as easily as, or I will say this, not every business can raise prices to offset inflation. Some can, most cannot, and that is an issue. So we need to see signs that these interest rate hikes are helping and that we may be able to avoid a recession, which we will talk about today as well. So we need to find out July 13th. Hopefully things are coming down because as an investor, I'm mad about it. I'm hurt. Also, as a consumer, I'm also hurt. I bought 2 rack of ribs the other day and it cost me $80. What? For 2 rack of ribs? That's it? That's it? It should not have cost me $80 for that. And there weren't any like super prime premium cut ribs, man. It was like basic grocery store ribs and they were $80. Ridiculous. Thanks, inflation. So we're going to try to bring that down, hopefully, or find out rather if that's starting to come down on July 13th. The next one is Google stock split. That is going to be on the 18th of this month, July. And I mean, as the stock market, I don't believe is going to swing in any direction based on this number as they will with the other numbers I did mention, but it is something to note. It will be in the headlines. I've talked about stock splits before. Shopify just did theirs. I'm split out. I'm done. It's too many companies doing too many splits. I've explained it too many times. But if you don't know what stock split is, if you want to know whether you should buy before or after a split and all that kind of stuff, I've covered all those questions. Feel free to search in the search bar and you'll find a video. I think I've done at least 5 videos this year on stock splits. I obviously covered them back when Tesla did theirs in 2020 and when Apple did theirs in 2020. Anything you want to know about stock splits, either drop a comment or go and hit the search bar because I've done those before. But that's going to happen on the 18th of July. Then we move into earnings season. Boy, earnings season starts on the 25th. Now there's no official start date for earnings season. It's just when things get wild in terms of the number of companies that start to report. So what I did, again, market's closed, I had time, and I went to fidelity.com, typed in earnings calendar. I just went to July 25th because I just knew, that second or third week is when stuff starts to kick up. And I kept scrolling and kept scrolling and kept scrolling, and it would not stop. So just, again, the week of the 25th, you got Google, Microsoft, Visa, Coca-Cola, Ford, and GM. And that was just the ones I could quickly point out just that first week. Almost everybody is going to start reporting in the week of July 25th or usually like the 2 weeks after. It is going to be very busy. Obviously, the market, especially those first 2 weeks, are really going to hone in and scope or look at those reports with a microscope, because it tells us about how consumers are spending and what is going on. For example, what about Visa? Are people putting more money on their credit cards because of inflation? Is that going to help Visa? Is it going to hurt Visa? Are people cutting back on their spending? Visa would know this information, right? Are people, how are people spending in terms of their groceries and goods? Albertsons also reports during this time. Albertsons is a company I have an eye on because Kroger has done quite well this year. But perhaps Coca-Cola would let us know that. What about the chip shortage? Maybe Ford and GM may have a word on that. There's a lot of things that are going to happen, and these companies are all going to have really important pieces to the puzzle to help us understand where the market is and where the economy is. It's not going to be, Google doesn't know everything that's out there, but maybe they do based on search history, but y'all get the point from a business perspective. What happens if we find out that people are reducing their marketing spend and Google's making less revenue from that? That tells us that perhaps these companies are preparing for the R word. Or are they more aggressive? Are they looking to get their money back or increase prices and they're trying to advertise a bit more? Right? It really depends. So I don't know what those answers will be. We'll find out on the week of July, or during the week of July 25th, and then again the next days in and around that particular day. Then we have what is the Super Bowl this year, at least so far, July 28th. That is when we find out whether or not we are in an official recession. Because remember, you need 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. We got one already. We're going to find out what happens on July 28th. I don't know. I've seen reports that say, hey, we're going to be fine. I've seen other reports that say, hey, it might not be good. I know how I feel, right? And I know how you feel. But, recessions don't really care how we feel. And economic data doesn't really care how we feel. Our emotions don't do math. But these economists do. We're going to find out. It's not going to shock me either way. Personally, I've kind of got my finances already where they are. So it's probably not going to change anything regardless of what happens on July 28th. I think you should be in a very similar position too. If you've been liking and subscribing, that was your opportunity to hit the like and subscribe button. You should already be in position. And what happens on the 28th, positive or negative, shouldn't impact your finances or your strategy, your financial strategy. You should already be in position for that. So keep an eye on those days. So again, you've got unemployment on July 8th. You've got inflation on the 13th. You've got Google stock split on the 18th. The week of the 25th, that starts earnings season. And then on the 28th, we hear about GDP. So those are things that you need to pay attention to. Before we go, as always, you'll make sure you check out the members only section of the channel. I found a really good website on insider buying. So I talked about the importance of insider buying and why I love it so much. It's one of my most cherished financial tools that I use, cheat codes, to find out which companies are really the best to buy. Because remember, when you are an investor, right, we do our own research, we're looking at a bunch of things. But the people who know the absolute most are the people who, own 10% of the company, perhaps the CEO, and they only buy for one reason. You can sell for a bunch of reasons. You can sell. But you only buy for one reason. And when you start to find out exactly how much people are buying and when and where, it can make you an even better investor. So for our members only, that video is coming out this week. I'm really excited about it because it is a very, very easy to use tool. But it's only for our members. So you gotta make sure you're in there. So to join, make sure you hit the link right here. There's a join now button at the bottom of this video and also in the description. So you will make sure that you get that. I'm also gonna cover MasterCard too, because that was a question or a company that y'all wanted me to cover. So we'll do that inside the members only section as well. All right, that's it for me. Talk to you later. Bye.